love the flow. 69, now it's time for new, believable people, and we must do it. If we don't control insiders, this will be over and over. America first! America first!
Oh, man. I'm covering some news from Breitbart today, but I'm also very upset. I got to look up now, and I got to make sure I look and see this ticker running. It's the second day in a row. I was giving you some hard-hitting news, and the Ogre looked up and realized I just hadn't pushed the right button, or did I push the button again while I was moving this around? But today, I'm going to jump right into it. I'm going to tell you, you listen to the Laughing Ogre. I got my suit on for a reason. I got my mock mohawk right there. I got my Trump, and Trump got my eyes on you. I voted for the man twice, for those of you that care to know. I listen to his rallies on a daily basis. I remember what you said, Trump. Don't lie to me. You know, cut the taxes like you said you were going to do for my kind of, my individuals, and lower, because there ain't nobody around here where I live, black nor white, which is the majority around here, that should be paying a penny, not a nickel, in income tax. Besides that, check your history out. Income tax is an illegal tax according to our Constitution. It's an even exchange. You're exchanging your labor for pay. I don't want to start digressing right away. I hope that thing is running though, because I'm telling you, I was on a rant, and I have something to say to CNN's Don Lemon, and I also have something to say to an individual named Matt Lewis. Both of these gentlemen. And I want to contrast these two viewpoints, and I want to talk. Once again, it's about this fake news, and it's about the idea of news speak. It's about the idea of what George Orwell warned us all about. You know, you can't tell a group of people that they can't be racist because they don't have any power. You're doing two horrible things to them people. The first thing you're doing is telling them they don't have any power. I did grow up with 6 black boys. I was one of 5 white boys, and there was 1 Mexican boy there. We were all ruffians, ranging from the age of, I believe the youngest among us was 11, and the oldest among us was somewhere around 13. Actually, JS, I'll call him, who was a black individual, was put into our unit because he was a little older, and I was a giant when I was 12, and there was a kid there we called Young 12, and man, I hope he can see this video someday, and he'll remember me. I believe he would. We were at a place called, I don't even say that, I'm not going to go there, but of all of us there, 5 white boys, a Mexican, and 6 black boys, the mathematician among us was DW. He was a whiz and in fact, all of the top mathematicians, and I've seen the studies before somebody gets on here and either calls me a white supremacist or says that I'm stupid because white people have higher IQs. And look, I've seen the studies. I've seen the studies that say black folks can jump higher, they can run faster for a shorter distance, white folks can carry more weight and they can do it longer. They just can't jump as high or run as fast for a shorter distance. They can run for a long, all you gotta do is look at a marathon. Although from Kenya, man, them Kenyans are whooping. And that just shows you that, I don't like eugenics, but the idea of humans bettering themselves through passing on traits in their genes is, man, that happens all the time. Those Kenyans, they run where they go, and a lot of times barefoot, I believe, over what looks like red Georgia clay to me. I don't know, it's probably worse than that. But anyway, I'm going to jump right in today. I found this article on, man, yeah, I'm looking at that ticker. I'm not going to make it a tick where I'm tick, tick, tick looking at that ticker, but boy, I tell you, when you work your heart out for 20 minutes and you throw it in the toilet and you're like looking and going, wow, there's nothing there. You know, you cry like a SJW needing a safe space, man. Just like Don Lemon was probably crying like a baby when they said this was evil. Well, let's look and see what happened. CNN's Don Lemon on Chicago torture video. I don't think it was evil. Don't think what was evil? CNN host Don Lemon said Wednesday evening at the broadcast that the broadcast torture of a bound and gagged victim in Chicago was not quotation marks, evil, unquotation marks, adding that the suspect had, quotation marks, bad home training, in quotation marks. News broke nationally Wednesday after Facebook Live video showed the victim beaten, slashed, held at knife point, and more in a Chicago apartment while assailants are heard saying F white people and F Trump. Chicago police held a press conference the same day to announce an investigation is underway and 4 adults are in police custody. The suspects held the traumatized victim for as many as 48 hours, police said. The fact that this was a vulnerable person that was probably duped into going along with them, it appears it is someone who is mentally disabled, I think makes it even more sickening. I don't want to break that down yet, but I hope that came out clear and crystal clear. Let me read that again. Quotation marks from Matt Lewis. The fact that this was a vulnerable person that was probably duped into going along with them, it appears it is someone who is mentally disabled, I think makes it even more sickening, said Matt Lewis. But at the end of the day, says Matt, quotation marks, but at the end of the day, you just try to wrap your head around evil. That's what this is. It's evil. It's brutality. It's man's inhumanity to man, in quotation marks. And I believe, I'm going to just say right off the bat, I agree with this man, Matt Lewis. It doesn't matter who it was. Black, white, Latino, Filipino, Mexican American, and I don't care. You come around our neighborhood, we're in Ogreville, and you do this kind of stuff. I know a couple of judges up in Ogreville. You do some stuff like this, you will be charged if there's a such thing with a hate crime, if there's a qualifier for that will make it worse for you. You will be charged with it. I once watched a judge here sentence a man. The man starved a horse to death over the brutal winter up here. And when they got the horse back from the university, the test showed that this horse had died of starvation, had absolutely no food, no straw, nothing in his belly. And this judge said, and I'm going to paraphrase because it's been many years ago, this judge looked this man in the face and said, if I had the ability, sir, I would sentence you to 120 days of nothing but Metamucil. But since that is not in my power, and then that judge, I didn't even see where he kept them, but he started grabbing books and throwing them at this man until he was buried and dead. He fined him, I think he got a year, if I remember right, in jail, and fined him, oh man. So, that's how they feel up in Ogreville about starving a horse to death. Imagine if you would get a retarded person to go along with you, and we don't know if that's what happened or not. The retarded boy could be suffering from some kind of Stockholm syndrome, excuse me. Some kind of Stockholm syndrome. I just pulled a Rubio there. He may be, going through that and saying that because he knows they'd be in less trouble. I don't know. We don't know. We know that this was broadcast. That's a lot of nerve. That's what happens when you tell somebody they have no power, and so they'll want that power. It's very Stanford prison study to me, and it's disgusting. Let's see what Don Lemon has to say about it, because Matt says it's evil. He just come right out, man. This guy's got courage. He said it's evil. Matt Lemon says, and I quote, I don't think it's evil, Matt Lemon replied, quote, I don't think it's evil. I think these are young people, and I think that they had bad home training. I say, who is raising these young people? I have no idea who is raising these young people, because no one I know on earth who is 17 years old or 70 years old would ever think of treating another person like that. Well, I hate to digress, but so what would you call that? If you think no one would even think of treating somebody like that, so what would you call it? What kind of act was it? And back to the quote. I don't think anyone 17 to 70 would ever think of treating another person like that. It is inhumane. And you wonder, at 18 years old, where is your parent? Where is your guardian? Listen, from the time they tried that white kid with the big thick glasses in the early 90s, and I wish I could just pull his name up. My name recall was that good. and they said, no, this was so heinous, and he was a vicious murderer, that we're going to try him as an adult. No. Listen, folks, if we did, it's crazy. It sounds crazy, some people that have grown up with this, but there was a time when you were a child until the day you turned 18. Sometimes they would, if it was bad enough, 17. But here, look, I don't think 17. I don't agree with that either, because unless they want to make it so you can sign a contract and vote at 17, then you can't go to big people jail at 17. Now, I'm fine with somebody did something horrible at the age of 16, 17, almost 18, 15, 14, and the state decides they're going to keep them until 21. Hey, listen, what is wrong with telling some of these kids that do stuff like this, if they're innocent until proven guilty, but if they did this, I mean, the video's there. I got to say they're innocent until proven guilty, though, by court of law. I got to say that because I'm an American. I believe in freedom. So, I mean, they may, who knows, man, a jury could do jury annulment on them. I'm all for jury annulment. Not in this case, but if it happened in America, and I love this country. I'd shut my mouth. I don't think it's evil. Where's your parent? Look, don't throw someone under 18 in jail, no matter what they did. Don't not put somebody in jail, but if they did something like this. I did. Oh, man. Let me continue. During the same discussion, Democrat strategist and former press secretary Bernie Sanders, press secretary for Bernie Sanders, Simone Sanders, said the attack was not a hate crime if the suspects were motivated by hate of Donald Trump. I can't even say it because it's not a hate crime if it was motivated by hate for Donald Trump. Are you kidding me? There's hate in you're not even using newspeak there. As you said, hate of Donald Trump, it's not even newspeak. They're just saying it's not a hate crime if it's hate of Donald Trump. Yes, it is. This is a horrendous hate crime. These folks and listen, black people, put yourself in the white people's shoes. I don't even care who color it is, but if you want to make it a race thing, then pretend that there was some mentally challenged black feller that four asshole white, excuse my language, I can't even think about this stuff, 4 white people got hold of and made drink toilet water. Thank you, fat man from InfoWars. Where's Jakari Jackson, fat boy? This is going to get to you because you're narcissistic. I know you got people looking at you. Probably got some kind of algorithm. Because, you used to be right, left, don't matter. And all of a sudden, hey, I ain't saying hail Trump. I'm saying I got my eye on you, Trump. And all of a sudden, hey, don't you ever trust a man. I'll tell you what, watch the Obama deception, blah, 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 blah. Now vote Trump. And, hey, man, the Republicans are all right. And meet my friend. I'm not even going to mention his friend because I really do respect. But I noticed that when this one certain person comes around that dresses very, very nice, that's all I'm going to say about him, because I really like and respect this person. But when he came around, all of a sudden, Jakari Jackson's gone. And now Joe Biggs is gone. I'm digressing. It's not a hate crime if this hate by Donald Trump is motivated by hate of Donald Trump. Hey, morons. Give me a break. Hey. While you morons were sitting around thinking about how to write this moronic dribble, I don't know if you took an English class or not, I have to drink this stuff because I was out in a wind-whipped field with 2 of the hardcorest men that ever walked the face of this planet that know nothing but hard work. I'm ill today. I was up last night sick. That's why my video was uploaded late yesterday. I'm not going to cry. You don't need to know about that. My dad, he's 83, and he would tell me right now, well, laying in bed never made anybody better, son. And he's right. He's correct. Not evil. Don Lemon, I'm going to say this, and usually I get somewhere between, right now, after they've marinated a couple days, somewhere between 6 and 46 views, and the 46 was me doing some stupid dancing to pogo, and I think the other one was me playing a dumb song on my guitar. This isn't dumb. This is serious, man. This is serious. If you can't see that Soros, and if you can't see that there are powerful entities, powerful people behind this stuff, then you're blind. If you can't see that they're setting it up and us against them, if you can't see that, you're not bothering to look. All you have to look is if one person says he color right out of it, leaves race, everything out of it, the color of who was tortured, the color of who was torturing, and just says, the fact that this was a vulnerable person that was probably duped into going along with them, as it appears it was someone who is mentally disabled, I think it makes it even more sickening, said Matt Lewis. Shout out Matt Lewis for speaking the truth. But at the end of the day, you just try to wrap your head around evil. That's what this is. It's evil. It's brutality. It's man's inhumanity to man. I'm not even going to read Don Lemon's again. If you want to read it, go to Breitbart. I'm looking at his face right now, and I want to look at the man. I would like to have, because I don't know who picks some of the morons that they discuss, they talk with, that they debate with. You debate the hard bastard, or debate Sargon of Akkad on this, or debate the iron skeptic. And I have not seen any videos from any of them about this yet. I think the hard bastard, I watched a little stuff, but I was working and I wasn't fully paying attention. No offense, hard. I usually do. It makes me sick to my guts. Don Lemon, on behalf of humanity, I ask you for an apology. I ask that you step up as a man and say that this is evil. If you would say that waterboarding is evil, and it is, if you would say that forced stress positions, which if you think that's just like making someone stand there, please look into them. They make somebody stand in weird, like boxes where they can't sit down. They put people in sensory deprivation chambers, which as someone that loves psychology and studies it, I can tell you, I know from the bottom of my heart, I've seen scientific studies. Only there's crazy folks like Joe Rogan that intentionally go in sensory deprivation chambers. Ask him why he does it. He talks about it on his podcast. It makes you trip. He swears he sees, other, I don't know, just go check him out. Get it right from the horse's mouth. Rogan, he's big anyway. I'm not really plugging him. You don't need my plug. I think he's got 16, million followers or something more than that. I don't know, 100 million, lot. Look, Don Lemon, apologize. It ain't right. If all those things I mentioned, forced stress positions, extrajudicial rendition, which is kidnapping, it means they go and put a bag over your head and the van pulls up and you're they stuff you in the van, and next thing you know, you're on a Cessna airplane on the tarmac, in Venezuela somewhere, or in Peru, or in Fiji, or in Beijing, or wherever they got you, and it's already cleared for takeoff, and you're going who knows where. And I don't believe in that stuff, man. And not even with Alzar Answati or whoever you can name, not Bin Laden. Listen, please don't hate on me, but if you got to, you got to. But I don't think it's cool that they went and shot Bin Laden up. I don't even necessarily see how it could have been Bin Laden, because he had diabetes and stuff. And I'm not going to be conspiracy now. I've got there's no tinfoil, just a bald head up there. No tinfoil. Don Lemon, man, just apologize. I'm gonna take a look at one other little thing here. Let me look at the time. It's only 17 minutes. If you can hang in there with me for a couple more minutes, I'm gonna just check this out. I'm gonna give a shout out to my boy Tucker Carlson. I haven't even looked at this. I just popped it open. It's on the Drudge report. You can go look at it for yourself. It says Tucker, new cable king, gets 9 p.m. Fox News exclusive. Thursday, January 5th, 2017, 9:30 Eastern Time. 2017 starts off with a bang as Fox News executives will announce Tucker Carlson replaces the vacant Megyn Kelly at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. The Drudge Report has learned that fact. The dramatic move caps Carlson's rapid rise at the nation's top-rated cable channel. And look, before I know I'm acting this up, I hadn't read it, so I'm trying to show you that I can read something, and just right off the bat. Next thing I know, I'll start reading again, stumble and fumble like a bumble. But that said, hey, Fox, listen to what the government tells you. The government's on my channel, and they're telling you, man, watch the beautiful talking heads of CNN and Fox News. I don't always just want to blindly listen to what authority says. Sometimes I want to question it, not, all the time. I like murder or stealing, but sometimes some of the things they come up with seem a little fishy to me. And Fox News is a little fishy also. They smell like fish. I think if you throw CNN, Fox News, ABC, NBC, CBS, TBS, TNN, all of them in a baggie, and you plug your nose and you reach in the baggie and you pull one of them out. They all stink like fish, and it don't matter which one you pulled out. Just one of them leans left, one of them leans right. You might want to watch Fox News because you might be a Republican. You might want to watch CNN because you might be a Democrat. Well, Tucker Carlson has already proven to be an audience powerhouse at 7 p.m. Now the sky is the limit, and an insider explains. I told you I'd bumble it because I don't want to brag. Fox News will not be tamed. In recent weeks, the Carlson Show hit #1 audience and demo with a mix of explosive interviews and hard-hitting topics. And Tucker don't pull no punches with suckers. And you may like him, you may not like him, but he don't mess around. He laughs. Watch that. I love it when they're he's talking to him and they're like blah blah blah. He's like, hey, can you prove the Russians hacked that? And they're like blah blah blah. And he's like, well, I've asked you 5 times now. Are you going to answer that question? I've asked you a simple question. So what you're saying is you can't. And then he'll just like laugh him. He'd laugh right in her face, and then he'll be like, thank you for the game conversation. You got to be kidding me. There was only one Gamecock in that fight, Tucky. Tucky. Yeah, all right. So in recent weeks, he hit #1. Timing isn't everything it says in the business. It's the only thing. And Carlson arrives just as the Trump presidency begins. The broadcast Wonderkind previously anchored shows, it says Wonderkind on CNN, MSNBC, and PBS. Developing. But check that out on the Drudge Report. I'm going to keep it a little short today. I'm not going to get up there to 35s. This is about the end of it. But listen, Don Lemon, you owe humanity an apology. That sucks. No one should be going along with drinking toilet water and saying F their own kind, no matter what that kind is. Yeah, and if this was a Chinese nationalist, if this was happening to having to say, F Chinese, or if we all know. I don't have to go through it. I'm not going to waste your time saying it. You got to be kidding me, Bill, you got the huevos, Lemon. If you're not a sour puss, pardon the pun. One who would pun would pick a pocket, so it said. My friend, Don Lemon, do you have the guts to get on and try to cut the tuck? Whip it out, Don. Whip out your knowledge. My knowledge is bigger than yours, sucker. Your knowledge is whatever your masters tell you to say. Why would you put yourself on a plantation and try to put other good black folk on a plantation and tell them that they're weak? And because they're weak, they can't be discriminatory. And you cause this stuff. Where are their parents? Where are their mentors that would stand up and say, what you have done here is disgusting? Listen, be good to the ones you love, because in the hour you think not, your loved one will depart from you.